Welcome back to Mad Dog Airguns. Today it's the turn of the Umerix HDR 50. Yes, I've already done one of these, but I modified the 11 jaw version. Now before I bought the Umerix HDR 50, I didn't really know what was what, so I thought I'll just get the most powerful one there was available to me, which was the 11 jaw version here in France. I must point that out, here in France, not in the UK. There's quite a lot of debate over these guns, what's legal and what's not. I'm in France, they're legal. The 11 jaw version and more. But having got to know the gun and the Facebook groups and Home Defence 24, the 7.5 jaw version gets more gains when it's tuned. So we've got the 7.5 jaw version here. We've got the powerkit 50. And we've got a tuning barrel. So I'm going to shoot for the chronograph. I've just got some Home Defence 24 3.2 gram silicon rounds with a little ball bearing in the end. We'll put that through the chronograph, 6 shots. I have shot this a bit already, and then we'll take it apart. Now somebody asked me to measure it with just the power kit and then fit the tuning barrel and measure that. I will see how easy it is getting it apart. When I did the 11 jaw version, it was quite straightforward. Just got to be a bit careful with the springs on the trigger and that, but we'll see that when we get to it. But let's get over on the workbench and get it pulled apart. HDR 50 with 3.2 gram rounds. Taking it out like that so that all the screws are still in the same thing. So we open it up, we've got this. So this is where your power kit's going to go, in here. There's a piece we've got to change in there, and then eventually we'll be changing the barrel out. So next job, we need to get this piece out of the gun, which, take that spring out. Take the barrel out. Piece can come out. So we're just left with that. I don't know if you can see down there. If can see down there, there's nothing down in there. And with the power kit, you get that piece which goes up in there, and then that's the valve. So it comes with this long rod. That's just going to screw into there. I'm going to put that up the end of that. I'm assuming it's just a push fit. And then you take that out. Yeah, so that just pushes in. Now I'm going to try taking this piece out. Now normally I'll put a pair of circlip pliers on it. And a pair of long nose pliers going that way on. And it should come undone, like so. So that comes out. What I might do is take this piece apart and see if I can push it out from the other way. Right, when you take this apart, you want to be really careful because there are some springs in there. Hopefully I can get it apart without it causing too much problem. If I've got all the screws out. One more screw. Get a little screwdriver in there and just work it all the way around. And that should start to come up now. Just be really careful because there are springs and I don't know if they're going to fly out. They didn't do on the last one. Alright, I've managed to get that apart without the screws flying off. So you can see where the springs go. You get a little spring there, a little spring in there holding that on, and there. I'll just put that to one side. We don't need that bit for the time being. We need this bit. So we're just going to take that off of there. That's under a lot of tension. So that comes out of there. That comes off of there. And this piece is a fibrey washer type thing there. I don't know. So what I've done, I've just put a screwdriver up the end of it to push out that piece. That's your restrictor. That's got to come out. Now on the 11 jaw version, you can take that piece out and you don't need that piece in the end, because that piece in the end's already there. But on the 7.5 jaw version, you have to put that piece in, otherwise your CO2 just goes straight through the gun. So you can, on the 11 jaw version, you can just take that piece out. It looks slightly different to that on my old one, but anyway. So that's out. Now on the 11 jaw version, I dremeled out quite a bit inside there, but I'm not going to bother with this because that's quite a big chamber. So all I'm going to do is just put that end cap back on. So that bit's already done. Put that to one side. I'll say the little pieces in there, it just pushes in with that. I think it's just a push fit. There's no threads on it. It just pushes in. That's that done. So now we've got this piece here. That pin there we need to change. But I need some heat for that. So what I've done, I've just gripped it. I've not gripped it tight because I don't want to squash it out of shape. It doesn't matter too much if you mark the outside of it, because it's the inside that runs up and down. But the little pin is held in with some thread lock, Loctite or whatever. So you need to really heat that up for it to come out. So I'll get my blowtorch. It's probably a little bit fierce. I'll just heat it up a little bit. You don't need a lot. Before I've just heated this up on the hob in the kitchen. A lot of people have trouble getting this pin out. But just a bit of heat. Don't have to be a lot. Obviously the piece is actually going to get hot, so you don't want to be picking it up with your fingers afterwards. Right, I'll try that. Just pop a screwdriver up the end of it. And there we go. That'll be quite hot at the minute, so I won't touch it. So yeah, it comes out quite easy. So always heat it up. Just watch your fingers because it will get hot. But at the end of the day, that's common sense. So I'll just take this other pin out, and you'll see that it is quite a bit shorter. So that's the old one, that's the new one. So it is a fair bit shorter. So hopefully I can just drop it down in there. Got there in the end. So the old thread lock's coming out. Pushed out on the ends of it now. Right, see if that slides on there nicely now. That's a nice. Doesn't want to be. You'll just feel a little bit of resistance there, where the pin goes into that end there. And that's good to go. Don't do it up too tight, just in case you ever want to take it back out again. So to put it back together, put that washer on it, that piece on, your spring, and then that piece. So I was lucky, I found the spring that landed on the floor over there. I've got it all back together. You just want to be really careful. I'll put a picture up of how this should look like when it goes back together. So now it should just be a case of popping this on top. And popping the screws back in. It's all back together. Light's just packed up. I'm just going to pop that back in. Put this in first. Like so. Put that spring back in. I'm just going to put the old barrel back in for now. Case of doing all the screws back up. HDR 50, 3.2 grams. HDR 50, 5.1 grams. Now, I had some people say, can you show us the chrono results with just the powerkit 50 fitted to the 7.5 joule version? That's all I've done, fit the powerkit 50, taken the valve block out and put the piece in up in there. So now I'm going to just pop it apart again and we're going to put a tuning barrel in and see what difference that makes to the chronograph. What I'm going to do is just shut that up and pull that out. Make sure it moves nice and freely. And then we'll just put it back together. So when you get your barrel in, make sure it pulls in and out nicely. If the barrel gets stuck, what you'll find is when you put the magazine in, that will just spin round. Because like if the barrel's out, it'll just spin like that. So if you're getting that problem, it's because your barrel's got stuck. It needs to be able to pull in and out, because it's the barrel, if you can see in there, this piece in here goes in and out of the barrel, and that's what holds the drum in place. So that's all fitted. We'll get it filled, we'll get CO2 in it, reload it. I'll do 6 shots with plain barrel and I'll do 6 shots with the extension on. HDR 50 with a power kit and a tuning barrel, 5.1 grams. HDR with a powerkit 50 and the barrel extension. I think you'll agree it's made quite a big difference. Just the power kit on its own. This was reading quite low on through the chronograph. It's 7.5 joules, but it wasn't putting out a lot of power to start with. There's a long thread on those. So the powerkit 50 brought it up to about 12 joules. So we put that through the chronograph with just the power kit in it and removing the valve block. Then I put the tuning barrel in. We was getting 12 to 15 joules. And with the extension, 18. Now, a lot varies on the ammunition that you use. I'm using the 5.1 gram things from Home Defence 24. Experiment with your ammunition. You get different joule ratings or measurements through different ammunition that you use. So that's always something to bear in mind. I'm not going to do a lot of testing for different ammunitions and stuff because it gets expensive, doesn't it? And I know there's a few of you out there do buy me a beer on buymeacoffee.com, which is very much appreciated. But yeah, this shooting arc does get quite expensive. But yeah, so 7.5 joules. It's upgraded. That's putting out about 20 joules now, or just under. Use different ammunition, you'll get different results as well. But yeah, that's how to fit the power kit, how to fit the tuning barrel. And that's all I can say about that one, really. So stay tuned for more videos, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.